quick first impressions of Nilai while we're here. So been here August. That's August 2024. It's now January 2025. So I don't know, 4 or 5 months. So we have travelled a lot. We've been Langkawi, Penang, Singapore, Philippines, Boracay Island, and I'm going to do short recaps on all of those because I did not take this equipment, so I'll just do what I can from a desktop. But what the main takeaways is that in Malaysia they can build stuff, they can get stuff done. Like roads are done overnight, buildings go up in a couple of months. I mean, our school, for example, 3 kids in a school, they've built a boarding house in 3-4 months. I mean, it's just not possible in the UK. They have amazing teams of workers that are just really next level, and they just have the manpower and I don't know, the funds, the resources, the skills. Just not possible in the UK. The people when you do talk to people, they're really friendly, really nice. We've had we can't believe how nice some people have been when we've needed help, which has been, we had a tyre blowout on a drive back from the East Coast, 4-hour drive. And I don't think we would have made it without the help this family gave us. They called the insurance company, they spoke in the local language. He knew what you can get when you've got insurance. So this car went on the back of a I don't know, car picking up truck thing, I can't remember the name, and got us back safe. So they've been really friendly, really nice, and we enjoy you've got the Muslim majority, then the Chinese, Malay, then the Indian contingent, and then odds and sods like us. So there'll be Singapore, Taiwan, Korean, Japanese, all represented, and it's a really nice mix. And they all seem to, I don't want to say tolerate, because that has a negative connotation, I think, towards it. They all coexist. They all just coexist. You're aware of them because obviously the Muslim females are all got their headscarves on. The Chinese, I can't see the physical differences generally. And obviously Indians you can spot, and then there's a Bangladesh worker community, and I think there's people from Myanmar or Burma and Laos, Cambodia all work here as well. I'm not so good at spotting them, but then there's the Japanese, Taiwan and Singaporean people, and yeah, it's a really nice cultural mix. We are definitely a minority down in the Nilai area in terms of white British. We see the odd one about, but we really are a exception. We believe most of the expats live up in a place called Mont Kiara, and near a KL centre. We're about a 45-minute drive from central KL. I've mentioned dogs in another video, but the stray dogs are an issue for us. Having to walk around with sticks is a bit weird. Mosquitoes not an issue, jungle's not an issue. The food is amazing. I should keep this short because this will just go on. The cuisine here is outrageously good compared to what we're used to in the UK. The flavours, because of all the cultural mix, the food mix represents that, and you can get anything at any time, and it's phenomenal. Prices paid is important, I guess, for expats. It's relatively cheap here. It is not like we've just come back from the Philippines. It is not as cheap as the Philippines. Malaysia is, we feel it's surprisingly rich country, but it's affordable. So we find that eating out is affordable. In England, eating out is no longer affordable. It's a real like monetary, you need to take out a mortgage on your home to have a meal out. Here it's far more affordable. I believe it's they haven't over-regulated the industry, and they I don't think it's the cost of the inputs. I think it's the regulations required to serve food here are much less, which allows for the cheaper production of the food. And there's food on the streets, whereas the UK, you'll get put in prison if you try and sell someone a donut. So it's much more available, and this is a culture of food. They seem to, because the majority are Muslim, it seems to be the majority of the population pray, eat and work. We're surprised at the lack of kind of entertainment. So for me, there's jungle all around but no cycling tracks. At least I can't find them. There's jungle all around but very limited hiking tracks. There are some, but I went to the local one and it took me 10 minutes to walk to the top of the hill and 10 minutes back down. So it really wasn't enough. And money, food, the people, accommodation is surprisingly expensive. We're near KL, so I think if you further you get away from KL, the cheaper your accommodation can be. But where we are, we're paying a lot of money for our rent, and there's a huge oversupply of properties. Everywhere we go, there are redundant, derelict housing, and when you look at the skyscrapers at night time, they're majority empty. I'd say like 20% occupied. So if you're thinking about buying property, I mean, right here, land for sale, on this side, this is all land for sale, all with like call me for this number. This has been decades just sat for sale. So I have a big concern, if I was a property developer, that there's massive oversupply here, massive, and more houses going up all the time. And how are you going to sell yours against someone else selling theirs? I do not know the answer. Our landlord has sold 14 houses that he's built, so he's managed it somehow, but I don't know how easy it is. Where in the UK it's hard to build a house because you just won't get permission. You'll annoy a bat and then like the government will shut you down building anything, or there's a newt or something, there's a fly that you're displacing, so you can't build a house. And so there is a lack of supply. So normally you can get your house to change hands, but here it seems like a house can sit empty for a decade, and if you're not a motivated seller and then it gets a tired looking house because of the rain and the moisture, no one's touching your house. And I really don't know what happens when that occurs, but I'm sure I'll learn over time what happens to these derelict houses and why people are happy just to let them sit there into eternity. I mean, maybe they've got so much money they don't care. I mean, it's the only thing I can think of, because I know if I have a house and I need to sell it and it's not rented, I'm a motivated seller and I'll take any price. Not any price, but I'll keep dropping the price until it sells, because otherwise it'll sit there derelict, earning you nothing, and eventually just be worthless. So but I have obviously a different market approach, being working in the financial industry. I think that's the kind of main points covered. Oh yeah, buying stuff. Do not buy foreign goods. They have a really high tariff coming into Malaysia, so they are crazy expensive. So if you're buying ketchup, salad cream, Robinson squash, chocolate the like Cadbury's chocolate, anything that isn't made here has a huge tariff. So we always try, and you can easily identify in a supermarket when you look on the shelf the home brand versus international brand, and they will be really expensive, so just careful for that. I'll do like a buying car independent chat at some point. I'll do some other bits that like we had to open up a bank account, we've got our visa to sort out. I'll do separate videos on all those because they are independent, but this was just to cover like basic first impressions, food, people, purchasing power, and just like the really obvious things like empty properties that just sit there. All right, that's it.